Hi, Kiko.
Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you. My pleasure.
So I was born and raised in San Antonio, Texas, and I can't, for whatever reason, pull off a cowboy hat. How do you do it so well all the time?
My wife Reve says, you're great at acting, but you have a face and a head for military helmets and cowboy hats. So I'm fortunate because as a kid, all my favorite films were westerns and John Wayne films. The
Right.
Cowboys is my favorite film of all time. So I've been riding horses since I was a little kid. My dad from Ireland grew up on a horse ranch, so I still have my saddle from when I was a little boy, which is his saddle when he was a little boy. So the Western culture is something that I've always loved. And when we started, the first Western that we did was The Warrant, and then we did
Mhm.
The Warrant Part Two, and then of course Yellowstone and Tulsa King, and
Right.
all kinds of other things in between. Homestead, of course. But Last Rodeo, I love wearing that hat. I love Joe Wainwright, and we'll get into that. It was such an amazing film, and I was so blessed to be part of it.
Do most people think you're from Texas sometimes, or at least half of the time, right?
It's shocking how many people. I love denim. This is just who I am. I have so many cowboy hats. It's kind of crazy. So most people think that I'm from the heartland of America because I love talking to the heartland of America, making
Yeah.
films about the heartland of America. But I joke I'm from South Boston. That's as south as I get.
There you go.
But it's you know I'm very fortunate to be here and to have someone like John Avnet
Yeah,
jump on board and direct this for us. And John Avnet is one of the most prolific, phenomenal directors of all time.
definitely.
From Up Close and Personal to Fried Green Tomatoes, and then his TV work that we did on Boomtown and Justified, which we'll get into how he gave me my shot back when I was going through a very dark time because of Justified.
Yeah.
I've worked with some of the greatest directors on the planet, as you well know.
Hmm.
But the greatest and my favorite of them all is John Avnet.
Very cool. Now, this is your second writing credit on a feature film. Where did a story like this come from?
Well, I was doing a Western called The Warrant at the time, part two, that Reve and I were producing out in Arizona. And when I'm away from Reve and the kids, I get so, when I'm working, and I'm stuck
Hmm.
in, doing my character. But when they call wrap for the day, I sometimes get horribly depressed. And this one day, I had to pull over to the side of the road because I was just kind of gut punched because this one thought went through my head. What would ever happen to me if something happened to Reve?
Hmm.
And I'm fairly certain that this idea came from above. Write a movie, Rocky on a Bull, where you have to go back and ride because you need to save the life of your grandson who has a brain tumor, the same tumor that killed your wife. And within 24 hours, I kind of outlined it. Within a week, my writing partner, Derek Presley, and I wrote the first draft. The next week, we had set it up with Angel and our investors, and they said, "Well, who do you want to direct?" And I said, "John Avnet." And they said, "Okay, go get him." Said, "Who do you want to be the actors in it?" And I said, "Well, I wrote it for Michael T. Williamson and Christopher McDonald." And they said, "Okay." And then John came on and tweaked it his way. And I said, "This is yours now. This is your baby.
Hmm.
Go make it run." And if when you look at this film, there's an $8.5 million budget, and you see the rodeo sequences that John devised.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. But more importantly, it's the relationships between my grandson and myself, but really the fractured relationship between my daughter and I. We all go through problems with relationships. All families have speed bumps.
Right.
This is a sizable speed bump in this family. Since my wife died, I turned to the bottle. And for me, years ago, when I wouldn't do a certain scene, because everyone knows I won't do intimate scenes, I do
Hmm.
in this one, my first screen kiss ever.
Yeah.
Woo! And I get to do it with my wife, Reve. This is awesome. So I infuse a lot of my own personal hardships into Joe Wainwright. And to see it come around and to see through faith how I mend the relationship with my daughter.
Hmm.
To me, that's the biggest part of this film because this really is a film about family. And if you love films like this, I implore you all to actually go to the theater, like for Homestead. Homestead was this $5 million film that everyone went to the theater and made $23 million in the box office. That
Yeah.
was you guys leaving your house, the comfort of your couch, actually going to the cinema, buying tickets, sitting there and watching the film. Thank you, everyone who supported that film for Angel
Yeah.
and for us, the McDonough Company. But here we are now talking about something that's twice as big. Rodeo, if you love rodeo, you're going to lose your marbles because this movie is so action packed. But it's really at the heart of it. What are you prepared to do to protect and save your family?
Right.
And I think we all go through those questions every day in life, and we talk about it face on, and I'm very, very, very proud of it.
How many takes did you have to do for that kissing scene?
Okay, so Kiko, I'm very famous for doing one take. I'm so prepared as an actor. There's one take. If there's a mistake, it literally 95% of the time isn't something that I did. It was a camera thing or a sound in the background, whatever the case is. My daughter London was on set that day, and I need another one. I need one more kiss. Nah, I need one more kiss. And we milked it, and John was laughing. London was like this, Dad, this is gross. Can you please stop? But we had the best time that day on set, and I kissed Reve over and over and over again. And I'm telling you, that was my favorite day ever as an actor because I've waited my whole life to be the hero in a film and kiss the girl in the end. I've never
That's so
had that
awesome.
opportunity. I've had to be the villain forever because I wouldn't do those scenes. And
Right.
now I get to do it in the last rodeo. So, John, thank you, pal.
Now you have a special connection to Texas because you own the Gamblers PBR team. Is that correct?
Well, that came later. We were
Later.
in Manhattan for the opening of the season, um, and the owners of the Gamblers team saw the trailer, saw and Reve and I were speaking to the crowd. And you go to Manhattan, you think no one cares about rodeo. And here's the thing about rodeo: every rodeo starts with a prayer.
Hmm.
So there's everyone from Manhattan taking their cowboy hats, and they all had cowboy hats. It was crazy to see at Madison Square Garden.
That's
They all
awesome.
took off their hats, they all bent their heads down, and they all prayed. And it was such an amazing thing to see. So then when I got on the microphone and we started talking about the greatness of rodeo and PBR and Sean Gleason, this amazing sport that he's really built, it's blowing up like crazy. After that, the owners of Austin Gamblers said, "We'd love for you to invest in the team and be one of the owners of the team." And Sean Gleason was there, with those guys at the time, and he said, "You got to do this." And I did. And then we went up to Boise last weekend. They announced that we're part owners of the Austin Gamblers.
That's awesome. What
To
inspires you when you look at these guys that are riding the things that they go through? You see it in the film as well. You ride hurt. It's incredible the physical nature of the sport.
I played baseball for a long time. I played hockey for a very long time, semi-pro hockey. I lost these teeth all in the front, and I joked that his nose has been broken so many times that it's straight now. But there's something about those hyper-aggressive sports
Right.
where it's aggressive toward each other. I'm going to be very aggressive towards my opponent.
Mm.
That's not the same in rodeo. I've never been to a sport where if some guy falls, everyone's there to pick him up. If some guy has a bad ride, they're patting each other on the back. But if someone has an 8 second ride, all the other guys are cheering for him because in sport, and I tell my kids, you want to root for your opponent. I want my opponent to give their very, very, very best.
Right.
And if I beat them on that day, then I gave my best, he gave my best, and it's a great feeling for everyone. So that's rodeo. These guys support each other. They're all faith guys. They
Mm.
all love God and they all love their sport, but they're all in it together and supporting each other. And the whole rodeo environment is something I've never been privy to. And again, this was a blessing from above that God gave me this gift to write this film about something I didn't really know a whole lot about. So I know
Right.
this came from him. And to see this film now and to see how people are going crazy, the people who have seen this film, I guarantee you this: you will not regret going to the cinema May 23rd, opening weekend, with your whole family. Because how many films can you take your whole family to unless it's a kid's cartoon?
Yeah, not too many.
Not many. You can't take them to go see the Joker. You can't take them to see a lot of these big films. And most films now are just massive explosions and not talking about family core values. We talk about family core values head on. And that's what I'm so proud of about The Last Rodeo, and so proud to have this film coming out so people can go to the theaters and tell Hollywood, we need more films like this. So thank you for going out supporting all the films that we're doing. Go to the cinema, bring the whole family, bring the milkman, bring the postman, bring everyone you got, because I guarantee you this, you won't regret it.
Bring the bull rider, right? Yeah, definitely.
Bring the boy. That's right.
Well, just one more question. But in this film, you're training to ride for this Legends tournament, right? But in real life, I'm not sure. Are you a grandpa yet?
I'm a grandpa.
Oh,
Me
you
in real
are.
life? No, no, no. In real life, no, I'm not a grandpa
No,
yet.
no, you're not a grandpa yet. So yeah, I'm
No, no,
just
no.
wondering, do you feel like all your 59 years? Like, do you feel it in your body?
At times, for sure, because I played
Okay.
so many concussive sports. And for doing press on this, traveling all over, flying on plane, I'm playing. Yeah, my body hurts a little bit, but it hurts with a smile. It
Okay.
hurts because I know I'm doing His will. I'm doing a project that gives glory to Him, that gives glory to the American family, and that just drives me and keeps me cooking. I'm the luckiest, most blessed guy I know.
Just real quick, there's something that Sly Stallone said on your Instagram. I wanted to bring up real quick. He says in a video that you're intimidating presence. Well, do you agree with him?
It's funny. Everywhere I go, everyone thinks I'm so intimidating. It just it kind of cracks me up because my kids are like, "Dad, you're the biggest goofball." What how I'm like, well, it's the blue eyes and that Boston attitude that I have sometimes that especially I've had to play villains for the last 20 years, so everyone thinks I'm this bad guy.
Right, right.
But going through airports now, it's funny. I get stopped by so many people thanking me for the stance that I've taken in life, what I'm trying to do for him, and they know now that I'm not that guy, that I'm really this family guy that loves his life and loves his family and loves God. It's pretty simple.
Awesome. Well, if you have Sly Stallone a little bit scared, you know you're doing something right in the movie industry, right?
Oh, I love doing my job. Don't get me wrong. If I have a job, if I'm going to play a character, I'm playing it all the way. If I'm going to play a villain, I'm there to intimidate you. If I'm playing a hero, I'm there to break your heart, and I'm going to do them both the best that I can.
Hey, Neil, well, thank you very much for taking the time. And again, congratulations on the last rodeo, and we can't wait to see what you do next.
Thanks, Kiko. Really appreciate it. God bless you all.
Have a good rest of your day.